Welcome, one and all. This is the Peace Dealer. Thank you so very much for your patience. And we are going to kick off this full moon in Cancer webinar with a simple meditation. And this simple meditation will incorporate you diving down into your feelings so that we can well up the true sense and source of how you feel. Thank you guys once again for joining me in this webinar, especially live. And I would like, before we begin, for you to release any fears and stress. A lot of this full moon energy might have allowed you to be more sensitive to the emotional currents that travel through frequency and waves. And as such, let us all connect our energies together and build it up. So, word. Before we do so, I want you to think in your head of a cookie. Hold the image of a cookie in your head, and it could be any type of cookie. This is a test to see how psychic most of you are. And I want you, once again, as you start to take a deep breath and we start this meditation, imagine a plate of cookies in your head. All right. Welcome once again to your full moon in Cancer webinar. This is the Peace Dealer. Did you think of white macadamia nut cookies? If you did, you're super psychic. And you did guess my favorite type of cookie. But I did want to at least have in the background something as divine as cookies, because you just can't go wrong. And this is just a great image to really help, soften our energies. Okay. When it comes to stuff like this, once again, because of the powerful psychic energy at play, you want to really allow yourself to be open to the positive energies that come through. So, taking a deep breath and allow yourself to breathe in the vision of what makes you not only feel satisfaction, but borrow in from the technique of Sagittarius, your vision. And then breathe out gratitude. We're going to prime our energy by doing this for now. All right. As you're breathing in this energy, I want you to imagine that you're breathing this in from your crown chakra, and then you're breathing out through your heart or any chakra you want to work on. But as you do so, feel any stress that you have within your body draining down to your feet and letting the earth take all of. Once again, you want to breathe down through your diaphragm. And as you breathe in the feeling of satisfaction and picture whatever vision that makes you feel like your wildest dreams have come true. You breathing in this energy down through your cells. And then breathe out gratitude. I now want you to feel the energy of the earth slowly coming up from your feet. And as it raises up your body, come tingle into your crown chakra and feel the groundedness of the earth anchoring you in place. I now want you to envision white light shining from above you that is shining from the essence of the full moon, and allow it to channel down through your crown chakra in the same way you're breathing in the satisfaction, and let this light drown down from your crown to your root. Understand that the energy of this full moon and you breathing in this energy now may make some of you emotionally unstable. And if you find that this energy of the moon makes you a lot more emotional, allow it to, and keep breathing in that energy. Some of you have powerful Saturn aspects, so you may not necessarily be knocked off by the moon. But if you feel yourself losing control, that's a really good sign. So continue to breathe in that energy. As you have now relaxed your body, I want you to feel into your personal power. Imagine that you're swimming in the sea within yourself. And as you dive deep, you see this energy signature that's distinctively you in a sea of other energy signatures in your soul. These other energy signatures symbolize the emotional currents that we pick up on unknowing, because all of our vibrations exist in a sea of consciousness. This full moon in Capricorn is going to release energy signatures from people who are draining your energy unknowingly or knowingly, or people who are blocking you, so that you can release any feelings or energies that are not you. But in order to do that, first you want to focus on what is the color of your energy signature. Allow your imagination to show you. You'll know because it vibrates at a much deeper hue than the rest, since it is yours. What color is this? I want you to now envision the color of your personal aura energy completely overlapping you and enveloping you with your own essence. What does it feel like? And take some time to really flesh out what this feels like for you. This is a personal feeling that you have created for yourself ever since cancer season. So you've built this up to where you will now directly start to harness your own greater, well, not some of you were born with this awareness, but you'll greater harness a deeper sense of your own signature. How does it feel, however, personally? I want you to now slowly feel this color and feeling slowly seep throughout your body. And I want you to feel and see this energy coming from inside, seeping out through your body's pores, and feel and see in your mind's eye your body covered in this energy and feeling. You may find that you need to breathe more to balance the energy. This is totally fine. Now, first of all, how do y'all feel? I hope y'all feel really peaceful, um, especially if you might have found you're a bit unbalanced. This is a good meditation to start off. So I see, Laura, you've just joined. No worries. We're doing a meditation right now. So for any of you who may have just joined in a bit later, this is totally fine. Ground your energies and start taking deep breaths within so that you're breathing in satisfaction and you have a vision of what you want to, not what you want to manifest, but what makes you happy. And then breathe out gratitude. Take about 5 deep breaths of this nature. Then what you want to do is feel the energy of the earth coming up from your toes and grounding your body up to your crown. And then you want to feel the energy of the full moon or white light coming from down your head through your feet. Once you do these basics, and I'm going to say once again, for those of you who have already done this, I just want you to continue to breathe because there's one more we're going to do before we begin. Um, we're going to do a ceremony before the Q&A, and the ceremony is to release the energy fully. And we're going to do some channeled messages as well as certain healings. Okay, so we can release this extra energy. But once again, if you're feeling peaceful, this is a great sign. This is to balance the energy and to charge your energy for the um, the intensity that's to come. And because we're not doing this alone, a meditation like this will last you for the next 2 weeks. So Black Love is asking, why am I smiling every time I exhale? It's because we're connecting all our energies together, and the power of your manifestation is exploding out forth. Your spirit is feeling your magic create your reality. This is a simple technique, but what gives this superpowers is because we're connecting and doing this together. So once again, I do want to thank you for joining. This really is a huge deal and a great investment. And it also speaks to the cumulative effect of these energy practices. So once again, if you have been doing this meditation, just continue to breathe and feel this aura. Really focus on what your aura feels like, okay? And start to slowly allow this to seep. Let it come around maybe like arm's length. Let it come around maybe like arm's length and see if you can feel your surroundings and feel energies in that. And just keep it there to where you can kind of just stay relaxed. So for those of you who just saw this, once again, you want to take 5 deep breaths, breathe down to your root. What will make you the most happy in life? What makes you the most happy in life, whether you have it or not? Okay. And then breathe out gratitude. Victoria, great question. First of all, I do advise for everyone to keep their questions till the end, but I do want to keep in point whatever color you see, they will have a significance. But first, what is the first feeling you gain? Because there's a personal subjective meaning that will override any objective meanings of what it actually signifies. Personally, since this is a feeling, so great question. The answer to your question is, what does it mean to you? Because certain traditional meanings may not apply if your subconscious aligns it with something else. But rainbow is a very great color to get, and it signifies alignment with yourself on all levels. So once you've breathed in, for those who may have missed the meditation at first, we want to ground your energy with the energy of the earth and feel it drain any stress from your body, and then pull this up within you from your toes to your crown. And then once again, feel white light shine down from your crown to your toes. After you've done this and taken another 5 deep breaths, I want you to, in your mind's eye, see yourself swimming down into your soul and see if you notice different colors or just different frequencies. These represent the connections you have with others that connect knowingly or unknowingly. And you'll see your personal vibration. What does it feel like? And first of all, what color is it? After you see what color it is, allow this to envelop you in your mind's eye and start to grow. And now what do you feel? Okay. I'm going to use Margaret as an example. And I encourage you to actually did type this in, turning purple to magenta. And she's feeling deep sorrow. So this is great. The evocation of your aura will now start to channel your deep feelings. And so, Margaret, you want to really feel into this sorrow. We're not going to release it because through transmutation, you'll find after we release the other energies, the energy will change. But if there's any deep energy or sorrow, this is great because you're already starting to release. And now, for those of you feeling into your aura, it's okay if you don't feel any deep sensations as well. It just is important that you maintain this feeling. Okay. So once you feel this energy and aura now emanate out of your body and you're feeling it as best as you can, permeate at least up to your arm's length or maybe at least half of that. Okay. I want you to now feel the energy and white light of this full moon shine down on your aura and power it up with its energy. The purpose of this meditation is to calm your mind and heart and to fill your space with the moon's power. You should be feeling the color and energy, or you can envision the color of the aura grow even more vibrant with the moon powering it. And once you feel like your energy space is charged, then you can complete. And all you have to do after this, from now until the next ceremony we do, is just maintain this feeling. Ideally, if you practice this, you'll come to a state where your mind subconsciously does this. But for now, it'll apply indirect focus or direct focus just to feel it. All you have to do is feel this, especially if there are any deep emotions that come up. Sit with this feeling for now and allow yourself to really feel this. Okay. However it may feel. You may also find that during this, your feeling changes throughout. Okay. So before we start, I want you to take this feeling again while you allow this white light to now pump up this aura, and feel the energy coming from your root, and feel the aura come up each of your chakras and sit at the crown. Take it your time for however long you need this to occur. And now, what I want you to do, now that our energies are connected, is to set an intention for what it is that you would like to hyper manifest within the next 12 hours that would literally make you feel like the most satisfied and happy you'd ever felt. It's very important that you don't limit this intention to how possible it is, because the purpose is just meant to flare your feelings with your intent. We have now calmed ourselves down, and now we can focus on our not wish but manifestation of intent, because our minds have been called and we're connected. After, at the end, once we start releasing any such other emotions, we're going to connect our energies and then pool our energies so that all of our intentions come true. It's like we'll we'll pull our intentions together and do one mega full moon in Cancer manifestation. But for now, I want you to envision what it is that will make you feel this energy you're feeling now the most ignited. This wish is the fire. So I hate to call it a wish, but it's really more so an intention. Okay. So right now, when you were filling up your aura on your body, this is like pouring gasoline over your body. Okay. This is like pouring gasoline. And then this intention is like flicking the lighter, and this intention should make you feel like, oh, yes, I feel so good. So when you flick this lighter with your intention, now that you've felt your aura, this intention as a lighter is, I want you to feel how you would feel as if it has already manifested into your life right now. Okay, so feel like Morgan said, these cookies. I'm gonna just feel as if they're in my hand. Yes, I'm manifesting these cookies. How would you feel? This is an application of fire, and you have just prepared your vessel by lighting it with your own aura. So this is a technique I definitely would love to give to you whenever you want. I mean, I didn't really invent it, but whenever you'd want to practice this. And now I want you to just we'll take the next 2 minutes right now to really just sit on this. And I want to give you the vision of fire. You've just still feel your aura, but now feel as if your greatest wish and dream has been achieved, and it's here with you. How would you feel if you had everything you ever wanted right now? You should instinctually start to smile and feel this fire. Once after we're going to sit here and do this, after we have it, we want you to sit with this feeling. And we're going to sit with this feeling throughout the whole webinar, and it's going to gradually grow. because we're connecting and we have some water signs or water sign moons. So subconsciously, this energy is going to slowly grow. And then we're going to release it at the ceremony at the end of this webinar. And we'll pull in our wish manifestation. So it's definitely going to be very, very, very powerful. And we do have the Four of Wands. So this is speaking of positive results. Okay. For any of you who've had any blockages, specifically in relationships or with soulmates, you'll find this a ritual like this will blast open any such blockages because emotions are involved, really. So let's take a couple of minutes once again to just feel into the aura and now feel into the fire igniting. All right, last part of this. Now we have built up this energy, some of you more passionately than others, and it's okay if you don't feel yourself getting too passionate. What's important is you have now just charged up your energy at a basic level. This principle we've just practiced 2 weeks from now to 2 years from now, you will have mastered at a much greater level to where you're feeling so much deeper this energy. But this is just a sneak peek of what's to come. I want you to now take yourself in this energy and make some kind of hand symbol, whether you squeeze your hand or you touch some part of this, and to feel this energy and link it to the signal and to say a word. Okay. So, for example, this feeling that I have, I'm going to do this and say quantum vibes. All right. So, what I want you to do for the next minute or so is to feel these energies again raise up and then do this again. And what we're doing is we're creating an anchor so that once we do the ceremony again at the end, we'll do our anchor to evoke those feelings just so you don't necessarily lose this state, as you'll still be focusing, but it's going to definitely help. You don't have to repeat it frequently too. You want to, whatever you choose to do, you can repeat at any point. Whenever you feel this energy too, you can anchor this with any experience that you find. All right. So, yeah, let's get into this now. All right. So, thank you once again for joining me. This full moon in Cancer is definitely brought to you by a quantum host of vibrations ready to deepen this level of sensitivity, you experience feelings and emotions. And the reason why Cancer is such a misunderstood energy is because it rules so much more than feelings, and it rules so much more than emotions. If we were just robots living with merely intellect, we wouldn't necessarily have any color in our lives. And the soul becomes born from Cancer. Because Pluto is involved, in a lot of cases, you may very well find that a full moon cycle like this initiates a personal rebirth where your soul itself becomes born again. One thing that you may have picked up on is that there have been certain shadow issues that have been creeping to the surface ever since Saturn has returned into Capricorn. And what you will find brought up now at an even more powerful level is a very pronounced and deepening sense of certain darker motives or feelings reaching the surface. You don't necessarily want to suppress this, because the purpose of latent feelings and latent emotions coming up is so that with this Pluto and Saturn energy in Capricorn, any such unresolved emotions can not only be brought to the surface, but also be, with the influence of Pluto, completely transformed and transmuted. As such, you may find that you have been experiencing mood swings on an even more intense level, because the psychic awakening of your conscious mind is allowing you to react very sensitively to emotional projections or other such vibrations within your own soul. This was the reason why we had to start this webinar with a meditation, as this should also mark a practice you do as well with others whenever you can, or with yourself. And one thing that I want you to keep in mind is that as you when we had you just raise your aura up and feel your aura, this is so that you could feel your personal energy signature. When people create attachments to you or project emotional energy or intent towards you, what this does is it allows you to receive their intent, and not only to receive their intent, but this also creates frequencies and vibrations that start to inhabit your soul. In fact, when we speak of cutting cords, this has to do with the bonds and connections that occur on a deeply subconscious level. A full moon transit like Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn is going to bring with it a very, very, very powerful level of clearing cords. It very much so is a reset button, especially since Venus in Capricorn is involved. And a new wave of how you feel is going to transform your relationships, because you're uncovering a deeper layer of depth in your soul. This is going to change the nature of how you feel into things. And like I said before, water and Cancer brings the soul, the depth and the color into life. which you see animated with fire. Both water and fire bring that color and animation. So both this full moon in Cancer and full moon in Leo will be adding in that color and animation now that the framework has been placed properly in our lives. Hold on to and maintain this energetic feeling of your frequency. As for some of you, this may be a new feeling. You may be feeling some emotions that may be blocking the true core nature. But the more you focus on this vibration, it may seem like nothing at first, but it will slowly grow into something more you could tap into with your focus of your mind, which is why Gemini is before Cancer. Okay. The most key part to what's occurring and really what Cancer represents is psychic emotional energy. It's not so much an energy that has to do with family, as that's really more going to be indicated by the fourth house. Cancer represents your ability to care about the other individual, or just not even the other. Cancer represents your ability to care and to feel, and which will automatically provide nurturing, as this water energy is meant to restore any such circumstances out of its natural alignment. As such, because Jupiter and Chiron are involved, Jupiter in Scorpio and Chiron in Pisces, this full moon in Cancer is providing us very deep emotional healing through slight pain and through challenge. What this means is the more difficult the pain feels, the better. As you're feeling it, you're healing it. That's really the code word or name of the game here. As you're feeling it, you're healing it, because your own awareness is transmuting this depth. And the more you focus and the deeper you go and the less you suppress, the more you get off your chest. This, of course, is a very subtle effect that will be occurring simultaneously with the next wave of psychic attack being projected from others who don't necessarily wish to purify their intentions. Another very important facet of what this full moon represents is we are now stepping into the completion phase of this cycle and transit. And what this allows, as a Capricorn season has been teaching us, is to really come into a profound awareness of how our own character is opening or closing doors for us. But really, since this is coming in the same wave of Saturn entering Capricorn, this is establishing forth the next phase of constructive change in our lives. So the full moon in Cancer represents, how does success feel to you? Over this next week alone, we're going to be reaping off the harvest that this full moon in Cancer has created. And what you will be blessed with over the next couple of days is a fullness and depth of sincerity. In other words, you gain the opportunity to feel into the full extent of your personal power deep from within your body, because Pluto and Saturn means you feel this so deeply in your bones. Uranus, that is squaring this in Aries, is literally adding electricity so that there are instant realizations to how your identity aligns with these feelings. As such, Uranus in Aries, it has its job to create for you an archetype or an idea of who you are. And this full moon in Cancer's job is to help you understand, what does that identity feel like to you? This is why over the past 2 weeks, you've been having to come up with original reactions to situations that implement how things were not done. So, with the Pluto square, when you're reacting to something like no one else has done, you may be feeling like you've done something wrong because it's not following an old traditional response. This is a good thing. This stressful influence is now encouraging you to develop sincerity and your own original authentic feelings about situations. This is an intense reprogramming of emotion that will be happening for some of you who have been programmed to doubt yourself or to allow others to drain their energy since birth. This full moon also will bring with it an increased awareness of sensations, because this is not just a simple full moon, but this full moon in Cancer is bringing up with it any and every suppressed emotion that has been holding you back or that has just been deep inside of you since birth, so that it could be brought up to the surface and completely released. In some cases, violently so, because once again, Saturn and Pluto are going to bring up these deep feelings from deep within your core, deep within your bones. And then Uranus and Aries is going to make this a violent expulsion, like, blah, blah. And this can manifest in very violent mood swings, or they don't even have to be violent. You could just really go from feeling very negative to feeling in your power again, to it doesn't have to be that instant. It could be a gradual progression. Every time you feel yourself go deep, you're expulsing that with these feelings. It's totally good. This means that you're releasing. What you don't want to do is hold on with your ego to trying to make yourself feel like the victor, especially if you find yourself feeling defeated through these energies. This is to really test the intent of what it is you desire. A lot that this will also bring down is with it a much greater awareness and understanding of your psychic connections with certain individuals. This full moon cycle is going to blast open any such psychic or subconscious blockages that have gotten in the way with your telepathy with other people or with your shared sensing. Think sense 8. Because the emotional gunk and psychic junk will be cleared out with the transit like this, you'll start to understand at a much deeper level your psychic connections, where one of you were very aware, but you could tell the other people were not aware. This will even the playing field, and vice versa. In my case, I could tell people were connecting, but it was just kind of like blocked. This is going to clear the connection so powerfully. There's a whole lot happening this full moon that brings into account the full moon in Aries, the full moon in Taurus, and the full moon in Gemini. This full moon in Cancer is the last of the first 4 full moons to completely open all of our energy body so that we can start harnessing greater amounts of energy in a way that does not negatively impact our bodies. So if you have a lot of fire or water in your chart, you're definitely going to be impacted a lot more by a full moon like this, because unlike other people, you actually feel these vibrations. No, you're not weird, and no, you're not crazy. You're insanely psychic, even though you're still sane. But if you're like me and you have predominantly earth and air, it's okay if you don't feel these vibrations. You may just feel them faintly. Know that the faintness you're feeling is actually a lot of energy, but your earth and air takes you to your body and head, so you may not feel how intense it is. You may need a water or fire sign to sit with you and let you know how the energy feels. Keep this in mind, because if you're predominant earth and air, you could feel a vibration, and to you it could just be like, huh, okay, that's kind of regular. But to a water sign who's good at feeling it, it could be like, whoa, this is heavy. Like if you have Saturn or Pluto contacts, right, you may be so used to the feeling that it's you have a tolerance to it, versus someone who's clear and open can feel into your energy and be like, whoa, how do you live with this? What the hell? So keep that in mind, because you, as there's going to really come into, you know what I mean, a deeper sensitivity of this energy, you don't want to be caught off guard by any slight feeling of how this can manifest. All right. You want to just really embrace how you're really putting in greater energy into your body. So let's just say the full moon in Aries during Libra season was when you released anything that was blocking your idea of yourself, because you're directly aware of how you were interacting with others. You want to see this as putting the right costume on your body so that you have the right look. This costume represents your identity. It doesn't have to be a mask either. For some of you, it was no costume, right? But I wanted to kind of give you an idea of where we're going with this, because the full moon in Taurus is where now you were able to accessorize this costume and bring yourself to a degree that allowed you to see what are the values and what does this person have, what do you personally have. It didn't even have to be a physical item as much as a quality of feeling. Okay, and this is still just an analogy, but the full moon in Gemini now released in your consciousness the right ideas and thoughts to have. All right, the right ideas and the right thoughts. It's not enough to just wear a costume. How do you think? What is the unique attitude about the individual you have just unsurfaced and unearthed? Amen. And now, with the full moon in Cancer, you are fleshing out the vibration. How do you feel about it? Just like Nika said, why are you wearing the costume? That's what the full moon in Gemini has kind of helped, your attitude. Now this is the feeling. All right, where does this costume player like you have fit in the world? And that has a lot to do with how you feel inside. This is going to flesh out your vibration. And then this full moon in Leo is going to take this vibration into something we become passionate about, because the next 4 full moons bring this into perfection. But a lot of this is heavily dependent on the level of depth and feeling that you maintain. A good thing about you tapping more into your feelings is that you will help understand more of these synchronicities more. Virgo said something that I saw him post that really just flipped the switch. I know whatever channeled through him, or how, whether it was his idea or not, I mean, that's irrelevant, but still very beautiful message. It's something that could apply to all of us. And it's that you don't want to be so reliant on, I'm paraphrasing him here, but you don't want to rely too much on confirmation, but just focus on the revelation. Some things are not meant to be explained, or some things can't be explained. I'm going to say this one more time. Most of you are seeing recurring synchronicities about something. Not only are you seeing recurring synchronicities, you're seeing signs that are the same signs that incorporate two independent variables which happen to be the same over and over. When I say two independent variables, you might see a number with a name, or you might see a symbol that correlates with an action, both of which are independent and in normal circumstances shouldn't always occur at the same time, to the point where you know it is not a coincidence. This is a sign that this is coming from an angel, because the way these synchronicities work, they don't employ high level magic to be in front of your face, but it employs a subtlety carrying the energy of Virgo, so that you will always see the similarity. It's important now more than ever you trust in those signs, because a lot of these signs are ready to manifest into physical form. A lot of what has created and strengthened the energy of this is your focus. You weren't just seeing these signs. This was a spiritual anchor, and the neurologic pathways that you and the energies involved have created, which represents a soul link, are also connecting. If you find that this sign has to do with the soulmate, know that when you see the sign, they're feeling it too. This is stuff like this that you're going to gain practical proof for in very authentic and amazing ways, tied 100% into the energy signature that you'll now be aware of. A whole lot of the past 5 years was to come into a personal and mental awareness of these synchronicities and of these signs, to where they really might have devolved into mind games, or you had to really teach your mind to understand at a core level that this is not a coincidence. This is not something that just takes like 2 weeks to learn. And the deep subconscious programming you and your higher self instilled with your spirit guides to do this is to really help you perceive this deeper energy in a greater way. What I'm trying to say is that when I'm telling you to feel into your frequency, I'm subtly trying to allow you to be more aware of what you've always done your whole life, but to incorporate this more subtle vibration into your awareness. And a whole lot of this awareness will really keep in point your willingness to react with your own aura before anything. What I mean by this is, before you take an action, some of you do this so quickly you're not even aware you do this naturally. But be very mindful of how you feel before you take any action. And this will now encourage you, before you respond to anything, to sit in your heart first and to feel whatever feeling you feel before you take that action. Okay. Once you master this, this will be something you do so fast without thinking. But when someone says something to you that throws you off guard or triggers you, before you just react, I want you to really feel the vibration of their energy. Feel what that feels like, because that's an energy signature. Feel whether you want to take that in, feel whether you want to, shrug that, because you're going to start to feel your energy react to things more, where before it was just mental, where some of you felt your aura your whole life, but more cumulatively, more people will be catching up to your level in this case. For me, I'm a very base creature, so it's taken me near like a whole 20 few years just to get to this point. All right, so I represent more of the souls that have had to catch up, let's say, or the late bloomers. But if you're like this too, this is very, very fascinating. You know, before you react, sit on that energy. If you want to react calmly, take however much time you need and then act. What are you doing? You're carrying your energetic space with you, and you're using this challenge to give you experience. All right. And that's a cool thing about games that illustrate through experience, you get experience points, and through experience points, you gain a leveling up of your power. So, before I go into the Peace Mobile, I really just want to illustrate more so that any such decision to go deeper into your emotions, which will lack any logical base, as there's no Gemini, there's no Libra, there's no Aquarius other than the South Node, which is channeling the ultimate knowledge of the situation, will be met with great reward, because your simultaneous decision to focus energetically on that feeling will connect you to great revelations. The first week of this cycle is going to be filled with profound revelations, because we still have Mercury in Sagittarius swiftly tying together all the relevant meaning of events after this retrograde. So you'll be feeling deeper into how to access secret parts of your power. And with this Pluto element of this, you have to really keep silent what you were revealed, because not everyone is to be trusted, and whoever is a friend now could be an enemy later. So if you find that you're still having to deal with some minor level of blockages, we're still, you know, blending out of the filler and into the main core, which we're fully in right now. Okay, and have started at least, but we're still blending out of some of the past. Okay, so once again, you know, allow yourself to lose yourself while the moon is in Cancer in your feelings, just so you can release any such unresolved emotions. And you will do this by feeling into what it is that will make you the most happy. Anything throughout this couple of days that blocks you is something you need to resolve. So if you feel like, you know, if you feel like you want to have everyone in your community accept and love you, and this is what makes you happy, and then all of a sudden you feel, but I'm not really cool, or but people don't like me, or but I feel this, all right, you're going to, instead of just ditching those feelings, really feel that and really go into, all right, why is it that I feel unloved? And you may now resurface and replay stuff in your past where you have experienced rejection from the community. And then you're going to uncover how that has made you feel. Okay. And we'll do some of this in the ceremony too at the end. But throughout this week, instead of just brushing it off, acknowledge how this makes you feel, and then from your heart, pour love into it and feel that feeling dissipate as you transmute it and you feel the feeling change. For some of you, you may find that you just have to let that feeling sit there, but as you work through it through time, what's more important is that you focus on what you feel, so you still feel that happiness through whatever pain tries to block it. The purpose of this is to really understand at a core level, a lot of this pain does not come from you, beloved. A lot of this pain are projections and expectations that you may even have allowed unknowingly others to help you set on yourself. Ultimately, you're very powerful. So one person can only do so much, but if they can get you to believe something about yourself, then you can unknowingly block yourself from feeling emotions that you are meant to feel. So once again, also during energy like this, do not feel deterred if you find your soul draws you towards certain things or people. Really trust this. This is going to be irrational how it does so. We don't have any Libra or Gemini to make more charming or logical this process. Just allow yourself to color, even if it's outside the lines, because this is more about just releasing any such suppressed feelings so that you could feel deeper into your energy. If it feels at first like you're digging in a well that's not pouting any energy, keep on going. This is good. What's going to occur over the next 2 weeks is you'll have that, and the energy will just start gushing. So once again, these are symptoms and signs to know if you're very close to feeling this. All right. You'll probably so far notice greater feelings of mood swings if you're just unexpectedly hit by waves of emotions or react very intensely to even simple things. This is a good sign. Your energy is getting ready to release itself. All right. If you find that you're incredibly a lot more aroused and sexually excited, and it's even after you release it happens more frequently, this is a good sign. This is Jupiter and Mars in Scorpio. This is your energy being very concentrated, and it's too much for your body to handle. That's because you're evolving the level of which you can course through this energy, and it's raising your energy tolerance. Whereas your energy in a lot of ways could feel like drugs without you having to take any drugs. That's the beauty of feelings, where you can just have an imagination of someone and they can make you feel like butterflies. This is why I'm going to mention soulmates a lot, because in a lot of ways, think about how your body can just induce so much ecstasy just by being in space or thinking or seeing about a soulmate. Okay. Powerful soulmates can get you to feel deep feelings that you didn't even know was there. That primarily is their purpose. Because if you think about it, how many of you can feel that on your own? A lot of your souls have been reaching out to these people just so that it could reach that point of feeling. Does that make sense? It's not primarily to use them, but for some of your souls, it's less about connecting with them physically and more about having them hold space so that you could teach yourself to reach these deep feelings on your own without them. This is why when you try and walk away, your soul's like, no, 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 no. You still need them to help you practice. Okay. Be very mindful, because it's like you can try and feel this on your own and it really won't work until you think about them. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay. Keep this in mind. This is the connection and gift that you have established in a past life, because it's definitely mutual for them as well. But you want to be careful about making expectations to make that seem as if that means you have to be with them. Trust me when I say you will assuredly be in the relationships that you're meant to be in, because you're doing this soul work. So it's totally fine to have had doubts. It's totally fine to have slipped out and believed you won't be with this relationship or whatnot. But it's more important for you to focus on how you personally harness these deep feelings. This is one of the most important facets. All right. This is something that's going to be learned, to where you will be able to do this at will. And once you're able to come into this awareness, it's going to be very powerful. Now, don't feel bad if you find that you cannot fully reach those feelings. This is why we're in this age, coming back with our twin flames and our soulmates. When you deal with other people who are the other half of your soul, they have the other half of your energy. That's why you feel it that strongly. But you just want to be mindful of the energy signature that they trigger. That's what you want to focus on more of. I'm going to say this one more time. When this energy gets focused, when you meet these people, when you manifest these circumstances, focus more and contain the feeling more than projecting that feeling on the person. And that's what's actually going to keep and maintain the person relationship in your life. Because a full moon in Cancer like this, once again, with Uranus and Aries, is going to instantly manifest a whole lot, because people who've been holding on to feelings, people who have been hiding their feelings, is going to be revealed. And now this is where we get to the next part of this. A lot of the forceful nature of what's going to shift situations is the Pluto and Uranus and Cancer energy. The last time I dealt with this energy, it was intense. I think it was the moon in Libra square Pluto in Capricorn during Libra season. It was during Libra season. It might have been, no, it was the moon in Cancer. It wasn't even a full moon. And like the place went from, I had like a roommate and then someone else in the house, and we went from completely all happy and, oh, this is great. That quarter square came, real feelings came out, and the two people who were in my place hated each other. I had to make a decision like, oh crap, it's like I had to try and mediate it. Like this type of transit can completely like create nuclear bombs that take what was a peaceful situation or the calm before the storm and fully erupt. And this has much to do with circumstances being triggered to detonate like a bomb, poof, any feelings that are completely suppressed. This could happen through bad triggers, or this could occur through something exciting that happens that, whoa, like you're feeling your gasoline right now, and then a visual stimuli poof, erupts this fire. That's why fire has a lot to do with sight. And a lot of this envisioning is not just dreaming, believe it or not. It's not just, visualizing. A lot of this visualizing element is what is bringing forth and resonating your frequency to attract that which you are wanting, not even wanting, but your soul is pushing you towards. So for those of you who have heavy 8th house or 12th house or 4th house planets or transits, you need to stop beating yourself up if you find out that it's hard to literally unchain yourself from bed, or it's hard not to feel lethargic in this world that is run very systematic, where everyone is healthily motivated, but sometimes too motivated. It could be hard to balance this. Your body is having to cope with not returning to the spiritual realm while still having to power this physical vessel. So if you find that you're envisioning things and focusing on feelings, this is how you're charging your energy body back up. And we have not developed any spiritual techniques or practices other than sleep to help rejuvenate this energy. What we'll step into is a new meditation practice where you can literally feel your aura revving, and this will help replenish, fatigue and whatnot. But this is what's barely opening from us. So really keep this in mind. This is not really an excuse, of course, to stay lethargic, but know that it's temporary, especially for like Positively Trisha, who's been lethargic for 2+ years. This is 100% going to be Pluto or Neptune that is transiting an Earth or a water house in your chart. But even if it's in a fire or air house, know that once this Pluto transit is done, you will never feel this lethargic energy again. But it's like you have to go to the depths of really self-sabotaging influences that will feel like you're getting nothing done, but you're getting so much done, because Neptune and Cancer represent the infinite depth and sea of feelings that really doesn't necessarily make as much sense. But if you were to feel into the progress, the feeling will give you the key. Okay, it's like your GPS signal, which isn't always reliable because of the irrational nature of it, but because of how the energy is shifting more stably, and these water energies are stabilized by Capricorn and soon Uranus and Taurus, you can very much so trust what's occurring. All right. There is a deeper sense of what you're shifting into. As after this eclipse, this is going to shift very, very powerfully. Okay. And you'll find that this lethargy is this lethargic feeling is replaced by abundant energy, and you're in a position to knock stuff out. Boop, 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 boop. So just really hold out and focus more on feeling into this intent and spark. What vision that I have for you right now is an invisible energy. It's like your spirit self is touching you in the face from the spirit realm, and it represents your power, and you just have to take it in. But it's like, yo, pay attention to me. And then you're in this real world, and it's showing you synchronicities, like pay attention to your soulmate because they vibrate with my energy. You can feel it. And it's like showing you signs. It's literally, and you can sense it. It's like, what is this feeling I have? And it's literally everything you've been wanting to manifest, and your spirit self, like, touching you. We're here right now. Before, like 6 years ago or 6 months ago, it was there, but it was still having to travel through the thinning of the veil. We were still having to call it in. We were still having to be aware it exists. Now it's touching you and you're feeling it. It's like, what is this feeling? It's like something invisible that you can see, but it's not there. And you're finally going to not only see this, but take it in. All right. Now, the whole notion of seeing the unseen has everything to do with Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, which is expanding the depth of quality to how we derive wisdom from our emotional experience. And that emotional experience is dissolved so that we can perceive what is occurring behind the veil. This Neptunian perception is not sight. Sight is Sagittarius. This Neptunian perception is a vibration. And from that vibration, you can tune into feelings. You can gain and receive visions. You can regain and receive deception. And it's Scorpio that gives you the wisdom to sort out what's deception and what's truth. And it's Cancer that gives you the power to feel the vibrations. So this grand water trine is opening up an opportunity to establish important connects. But with the healing influence of Chiron and Mars that's on Jupiter, this is literally going to evolve how we sexually harness this depth and refine that intent from our base intentions through our higher chakras. Okay. Thank you, April Williams. I'm going to keep in mind about making sure I don't eat more gluten. Now I know where that lethargy comes in. That was a nice one. Yeah, so let us hop now into the Peace Mobile. And yeah, this will kind of give us a much better visual, let's say. This Peace Mobile is brought to you by an exuberant display of emotional genius that is allowing you at length to gain a much greater and deeper level of not only sincerity, but also power in how you connect with your deepest feelings. Be mindful that what seems like a dead end right now can completely transform. It's energy like this that legitimizes a lot of how you've been feeling as well, where your feelings may betray the logic of a situation. Sometimes you ever sometimes feel like you look at the surface of a situation, but what you feel about the situation is totally different. And it doesn't make sense until, of course, what you feel ends up being right and comes to the surface. This is very important because when it comes to certain connections, or when it comes to how people really feel, up until this point, certain people may have, for your own protection or for their own protection, suppressed their feelings. The most important part of this, the first part of this full moon, is coming into a revelation of how people really feel about you and themselves. And this could take current feelings and completely transform them, because we do have Venus that is on the sun, that is perfectly sextiling Neptune right now. And this configuration alone is at a deeply subtle level expanding with your conscious intent the psychic projection and power of your own core and of your own soul. There's a lot happening deeper within yourself than you're even physically aware. And this is why taking time to tune into your own vibration will slowly fill you in as this builds power over the next 2 weeks. Over the next 2 weeks, by the way, Black Love, this is planetwatcher.com. It's a free website that will basically let you know very accurately, real time, where the planets are and how they move. But yeah, today and tomorrow alone is going to bring with it this transformation of feelings more authentic to who you are. And as this now reaches the third quarter square, we're going to bring with it the revelation of these feelings, but also the revelation of your own superpower. In order to access this superpower, it's a special feeling. Let's backtrack, because when we were at Aries land, you initially, at an instinctual level, gained awareness of what this power was, but you weren't sure how it felt personally to you. Also, very important, because the moon in Taurus and moon in Gemini gave you ideas of how it could feel. Now you're totally accessing how it feels, very powerfully so. So once we step forward, especially with the square, from here to the first quarter square is the harvest phase, where you now gain very important insight into how your aura and power feels based on how you're able to react to stimuli that occurs. But that's what last week was about. This harvest phase is literally you receiving greater power. First, at the emotional level. Thank you, Morgan. I would love to train with a Genkai, or, you know, it's my Capricorn moon you're probably hearing sound like Genkai. Hurry up, Urameshi. Uh, when the moon goes into Leo, this is going to induce nuclear transformation, because Leo is 8 houses away from Capricorn. And any such sensitivities that erupt will become even more dramatic. This could bring with it a subtle wartime feeling, but it still will be relevant regardless, so that you maintain a much more important level and dynamic of integrity of your heart. The most important decision will be made on this day because of the direct square to, of course, Mars and Jupiter, and you'll find more directed how you passionately manifest what you're serious about. Remember, Saturn is still 1 degrees, so the initial phase of this is still bringing in what's necessary to fully trek ahead forward. This moon trine to this Virgo energy at 15 degrees as well, all through this week, we'll be triggering and implementing at this phase a literal crystallization of how to physically ground the intuition and psychic impulses you'll be feeling through your body. Any such signs you are seeing today and tomorrow will be detailed and brought in a more physical level through the drama of Leo, the good drama in some cases. And this time you're not just perceiving it, you're practically able to do something with it. Be mindful of what's analyzed because, this third quarter square noun, everything that was fleshed out in Cancer and has been harvested by this third quarter square, you're now in a position to directly express, and you'll find yourself speaking your mind at a very authentic level in ways that will greatly transform how you can open or close connections because of very important decisions that are made. As this isn't just a square, but we have Venus, Sun, and Pluto. Okay, keep in mind when this erupts and you see the transformations in your life and relationships, it's not just this transit that sparked it. This has a lot to do with the 2 weeks of building up your feelings and ideas that leads to this trigger. January 8th is going to be huge because this third quarter square as well is going to lead to the balsamic phase, as you will now be in a position to completely change your mind about your position in the world and how you see yourself forever and how you believe in yourself forever. Especially this conjunction right here, where we finally feel into this psychic evolution. Be very mindful about what you feel while the moon is in Cancer, because it's going to go at an even deeper level when it's in Scorpio. And Mercury 29 degrees Sagittarius will also bring with it profound revelation so that you gain deeper wisdom of how to perfect any recent techniques about how to harness your power that you have developed. Saturn in the first 10 degrees is training and practicing how to really harness your power and transcend your soul pains. And this balsamic phase of the moon is when you're going to completely change how you see yourself, and you could expect something to be revealed that will completely make you feel certain things you believe at this point were a lie. And then, of course, we have the new moon, the most powerful new moon of the year, starting the year off, where you'll now be moving fully forward with a lot of this structural change. This is where you will no longer feel like the filler episode is applied, and Uranus will be direct. So every single planet will finally be direct when we're finally ready to move forward. I really want you to grasp that concept because this is really indicative of how this lunar cycle is transitioning us away from that portal that had us step away from the filler energy, and we move into this real energy. As such, any adjustments around you being in a position to really step into your power, it's okay if you get triggered, because these triggers are going to actually help you harness more of your power. So it's kind of that energy where if you feel like you're messing up, it's actually a good sign. But you're not going to be messing up too bad. It's just, if you're trying to do things too perfect, that's when you could get frustrated. So just like Mindful Robot said, all that Capricorn cementing the new structures. This is going to be a seed that we set the intention to manifest in 6 months when we step into July, as we close off the Leo eclipse lesson of fully awakening our hearts to magic through the knowledge of who we truly are and what we truly have in our favor for us. Okay. But I want you to think of this full moon cycle as the budding mastery of your psychic ability. Psychic skills are more so Virgo and Libra, but just having the psychic ability, just actually being aware of who you are and how it feels. That's Aries, that's Cancer. And this is going to be the foundation for you to now move forward in this Capricorn energy. The good news is a lot of this is indirect, and you already did the work for 6 years ago. And the degree of the new moon, like someone asked, let me see, is going to be 26. 26 degrees at 4 p.m. PST on the 16th of January. So really keep in mind, every single day from now until the new moon is going to pick up in profound intensity, as you must now take the own pressure of your psychic awakening and awareness and push forward to allow yourself the opportunity and ability to uncover latent gifts and an even deeper layer of your power that up until now has been untouched, because we had to have Saturn and Scorpio dig deeper and lay the jackhammer. Pluto and Scorpio, Pluto and Sag, and Pluto and Capricorn had to actually lay and create deeper depth within you. And then Saturn and Scorpio, Saturn and Sag, Saturn and Cap has now been laying the cement. So now that Jupiter's in Scorpio, it's filling in this depth with expansive vibrations so that you can now feel and harness this. You're going to be more psychic than you were before, because you went through deeply emotional, traumatic experiences or blissful experiences to help you feel at a deeper depth. Now you're going to start to feel the fruit of all that hard work, where some of you didn't even realize you were training yourself through some circumstances and experiences. Definitely very powerful, despite the rising intensity. So now moving forward, I'm going to pull cards for each of the 12 signs. And after I do that, we will conclude this ritual. So for those of you who still have the quality of feeling, begin to bring back your aura, quantum vibes, and feel into the energy of your aura, because we're going to connect that together, set the intention to manifest all our intentions, and then release it to the universe. Okay, it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel good. So and then we'll do a Q&A. So all right, Aries moon, Aries rising. This full moon in Cancer transit for you is going to really unsurface private emotions and a private attitude that you have towards how you personally feel towards everything, so that what can be balanced is a reintegration of your authentic perception in the face of other people who have their own opinions. And this will bring to the surface anything that was hidden so that you can make proper decisions. In other words, something is being deliberately hidden from you, Aries, because you're the light that sees it all with Sag. So you will be revealed this week, and it will help you make the proper decision. The oracle card I have for you is Miracles and Blessings. Everything has its gift. We have we have the Seven of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Queen of Swords, which is indicating that You, of course, are bridging forth an important level of perseverance so that above all, you could stand up against any backlash surrounding your right to believe in a certain system or philosophy. I get the sense that this Queen of Swords also is someone who you might have had a bad relationship with, but now they're going to come back into your life to complete the karma that was started. And a lot of this has to do with understanding of a philosophy or principle. It's wisdom that's actually just going to really share a whole lot or change a lot how you see things. We have the Sun card as an underlying theme for you, too, Aries, which is speaking of great happiness that will really undermine or influence your attitude through this all. Thank you, Black Love. Thank you for tuning in. Taurus moon, Taurus rising. This full moon in Cancer is going to shift how you perceive your energy and direct it through your attitude so that you're in a much better position to once again see how you currently feel about your beliefs, because you'll come into a revelation of something you weren't seeing in a belief that will click everything to gear. We have be supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care. Okay. The underlying theme we have here is the Judgment card. So this full moon is going to bring with it great awakening and a change in consciousness that will set you along the next level of your adventure and path. We have the Death card. This is bringing with it full transformation. And from this death, we have your truth surfacing. It's interesting because we have this Capricorn woman here too, marked by the Queen of Pentacles. So it's like, due to some part of you that you're shedding or something that's changing, you're going to change your dynamic and relationship with this Queen of Pentacles, or just speaking of a very important conversation over these next 2 weeks that clears the air and can bring with it some victory. But this is a huge deal because this individual is going to really transform how they see you, because you're finally revealing to them how you see things. And it's important that you trust in your truth, because it's going to make sense. They're going to see the light in what you're showing them. Okay. Gemini moon, Gemini rising. This full moon in Cancer is going to reveal, very importantly, how you feel about your own confidence, but how you'll be manifesting a lot of this vibration through revealing a secret of someone's influence over you. And this is a little bit misleading to say, but it's actually just going to open up greater depth of intimacy, because you're starting to understand what certain feelings mean when you receive certain impressions from others. We have physical touch is important. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. Oops. One moment. And the underlying theme we have with the tarot is the the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is speaking of you, of course, with the second house transit, opening up greater wealth and financial abundance. But I think this also has more to do with developing the discipline to also handle this increase of financial abundance here. Interestingly enough, though, we have the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Cups, but then we also have the World. So you're definitely walking towards completion. That new moon in Capricorn will have you graduate through whatever uh, disappointments or spirit quests you take. This Queen of Wands, though, is very interesting because for some of you, Gemini, you may be this Queen of Wands, or they may be walking away with you. But be very mindful because this Eight of Cups is not necessarily negative like it may seem. It's definitely talking about a definite departure towards any influences that have been holding you back. Okay. Cancer, Cancer moon, Cancer rising. This full moon in your sign is going to release any false perceptions of yourself projected by other people so that you can restore your authentic and original feelings. And I would pull the exact same cards as Gemini, but let me shuffle this again. Okay. You want to be mindful of what other people reveal about themselves towards you so that you can gain a more realistic view based on what they don't say. We have the card Have Patience. Love is patient and kind always. All right. So what it is you're working and feeling your soul guiding you towards is worth it. Take a chance on love. The Eight of Swords is talking about any such immobilizing thoughts that have you afraid perhaps to act on your hunches or feelings. We have indicated here. Um, we have also, it's as an underlying theme, it's saying you're slowly going to shed those thoughts that block you from really tapping into who you personally are. The Two of Wands and the Three of Wands is talking about you also making appropriate plans moving forward to not only strengthen your will and see your potential, but also set it in motion. Whatever idea you've had, you definitely want to see and think big and don't feel like you're limited by any options. No idea is too big. And we have the Lovers card. So there's definitely going to be a choice for you to connect and gain mental and spiritual harmony through very pleasurable sexual experiences. Leo moon, Leo rising. This full moon in Cancer is going to reveal a subconscious block that has been in the way of you really harnessing your more deeper emotions. And what may have contributed to this subconscious block is perhaps a need to understand or control too powerfully your reality when whatever is revealed will make you feel like all you had to do is just click your heels 2 times. So be mindful that you might be doing a bit too much. The Oracle card we have is the heart of the matter. There's more going on than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. But I mean, regardless, we have amazing cards for you, Leo. The Six of Cups is making this all about a soulmate. So look to whoever your soulmate is, whoever you feel came to your heart first is definitely your soulmate, someone who you're connecting with on a level of depth of intimacy. It's usually childhood lessons, but if I see what this card is, this is all about romance. This is all about you having to shoulder responsibility to uphold the happiness of a family you're creating or a love inside your heart you're creating. And we have wealth and abundance. So this 10 of Wands isn't even really a challenging card as much as it's just speaking of a lot of passion building up. But 2 10s and a major arcana makes this a high impact week, Leo, that's really going to just open up the level of profound clarity and wealth that you have the capacity to manifest for you. Virgo moon, Virgo rising. This full moon in Cancer is going to reveal a greater level of how sincere friends in your life are towards you based on what they're willing to really do to invest in your own talent or your creative efforts. Who's going to come to your art exhibits? Who's going to actually show that they care? This will really key into, once again, not like you already didn't know, but it's going to really surprise you when you see how intensely those who support you really support you. Okay. We have the strength and the justice card. So this is Leo and Libra, but it is speaking of you being in, yeah, it is a new earth cycle, Bell. Great comment. It is speaking of you harnessing your inner strength, but with the presence of the justice card too, because this is also followed by the 7 of Cups, you're having to balance your sense of supernatural power with altered states of mind. This is talking about as you evolve your energy, you'll be tapping into your super self, which transcends reality. But then your physical body won't be able to perceive these higher dimensions. So it's just going to seem like an illusion. And you have to try and balance and make the right decisions to harness both. We even have the Ace of Wands as an underlying theme. So what it is that your imagination and your soul is leading you towards, it's something that's going to, you're not basically just blindly dreaming for something to happen. You're actually putting into works through your imagination something that you're gravitating towards you. And speak the language of love, okay? Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. All right. Libra moon, Libra rising. This full moon in Cancer is going to clear any gossip that was done or any negative words said towards you. There has been some PR work and damage control that has needed to be done because people have been disrespecting your name. And it could be very difficult to understand where all of this comes from. But what's going to happen is there's going to be a good scandal about you, Libra. Someone this week is going to reveal how amazing of a person you are. And it's like earned media because you're not going to see it coming. And it's going to equalize a whole lot of, things. Of course, for those of you who may have been caught up with some negativity because you were perpetuating it, then it's going to be a horrible week for you. And I say this just in case, there are some Libras who do not have integrity. But for those of you who have integrity, this is a huge victory for you, okay? We have the King of Cups, which is definitely speaking of you having to maintain an important level of compassion. But I see this as also someone you may have to work with, a more watery version of yourself. It's the Scorpio card. But it's interesting because you might have to balance how well this person's deep insights mix with your very sharp and brilliant observations about people, who they are, and what they're going to do. The Judgment and the Death card is speaking of very potent transformation as well, Libra, that will utilize and change your consciousness while shedding any old feelings about how you were perceived, because both of these in quick succession is talking about this full moon drastically changing elements about your life to where the Ace of Swords not only brings great victory, but now a new sense of who you are based on whatever is developed. Be authentic to who you are. You are asked to be real and true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. And I split the deck and I got new love. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising. This full moon in Cancer is going to open up a greater quality to how deeply you experience emotions and derive the meaning of the feelings that you see. What is breaking deeper ground for you is a more constructive way to communicate practically what you sense. And this full moon in Cancer will reveal the meaning of certain emotions so that what you would feel from others and rush to a conclusion of what it means, you'll actually gain deeper insight that will change how you see what you saw me. So it's going to still have the same kind of feeling, but it's not going to trigger you as much because you may have been reacting a bit too intensely towards something that needed more of your compassion. Okay. We have the Knight of Wands as underlying theme, but also the Ten of Wands. So you may be a creative help, or someone may creatively help you out of work that you may have found weighing you down with responsibility. And thankfully, we have the Six of Swords and the Eight of Wands. This full moon transit is going to have you really transition. You're not only saying towards a positive future, but the stuff you're feeling your life move forward is happening very quickly. And what do we have here? A relationship that's quickly developing. Okay, when this is all said and done, this could be with this Knight of Wands individual who's more fire sign of an influence. And we do have the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups. So this is definitely a soulmate relationship that you could feel very deeply into. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. Great. Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius rising. This full moon in Cancer is definitely going to challenge the level of how deeply you trust your own emotions, which could be a very difficult energy for you, because your own feelings will reveal everything more than you may be willing to express. So don't worry about how irrational your feelings are. Your feelings are guiding you towards the right direction. So if you try and logically make sense of your feelings, but the logical impulse, like if your feelings are pointing you towards something or someone, and your logical conclusion of those feelings don't match what you really see, it doesn't mean that your feelings were wrong. It means your conclusion was wrong. So just try and find different creative ways to understand the purpose of these feelings. You want to regain trust, because some of you lost trust for your feelings when you realized that what you're feeling didn't match on the surface. And it's just because you weren't interpreting them right. Okay. The page of the Five of Wands and the Page of Cups is definitely also speaking of some kind of competitive influence that will very rapidly and passionately kind of open up your emotions. All right. It could also be, yep, it's a new love interest too. Sagittarius, we have the Three of Swords and the Four of Cups. So your heart may be broken and you're very much so closed off to love. It's like you're wanting to kind of connect with someone special, but it's like you can't get that numb feeling out of your heart, or it's like for some of you, you just feel blocked. And so people are trying to show you love, but you don't feel like it. Okay. But even though you're trying to work out prospects that didn't work, out of the blue, Sagittarius, a very new opportunity, the right one for you, is going to come connect psychically through a synchronicity and then probably actually contact you. And we have the Sun card. This is going to be happy. And this is where, once again, the Page of Cups is indicating this cup is coming from someone who might have been fighting for your attention, and somebody who has been wanting to really, like, contact you. All right. Where you might not have been able to connect, but suddenly you'll, oh, I do have feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that you didn't know, but we also have take a chance on love. When we start to love, our lives are changed forever. So take that chance, because you may not feel like it at first. The person may not even turn you on. And then you give them a chance, and it's like, oh, you're the one. All right. Capricorn moon, Capricorn rising. This full moon in Cancer transit for you will remove all the blockages that have been getting in the way of you emotionally connecting with people so that healthy relationships can develop or be maintained. Any such emotional disconnects that you felt towards taking your ideas and empathizing with others will be 100% removed through, once again, a deeper understanding of what is motivating you to feel what you're feeling. And a lot of this will be subtle, but it will also implement and integrate a transformation of how you project this energy as you step deeper into your psychic ability. We have the Magician card as an underlying theme. So your willpower and your focus are going to be key into taking the vision that you see and walking directly into it. However, this is also really interesting. We have the High Priestess and the Moon, and it's speaking of psychic revelation. But what this is also implementing is you may be picking up on the anxiety of a psychic connection you have. A lot of this dark feelings you're feeling are not your feelings, okay? They're not your thoughts. You're going through increased energy and insomnia because you're channeling other vibrations. But out of this negativity, you're going to birth a good idea. This is really weird though, because there's a deeper significance to this. And this is talking about, because you're going to start channeling a lot more energy from your soul, it's going to manifest in anxiety at first because it's just going to be a lot of energy to channel. So just know you're releasing a lot of excess feelings. And then the Ace of Pentacles, I feel, after that is going to be something material you crystallize from all this stress. I get the vision that pressure, intense pressure, makes diamonds. Don't be put off by that Nine of Swords. I think it's just energy that you're having to purge. That High Priestess is going to reveal something, and whatever is revealed, don't worry about confirmation for, and don't feel like that revelation will lead to your anxiety. I think it's just a consequence of having to channel so much powerful energy. The Oracle card we have is have patience. Love is patient and kind always. Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising. This full moon in Cancer for you is going to finalize any techniques you have really made surrounding how you harness and manipulate your feelings and aura around other people. Any such actions or behaviors you have developed that really not get in the way, but engender a greater sense of your control will completely transform your whole life. And a subtle transit like this is going to do so much to bring a lot more of power. We have the Page of Pentacles as an underlying theme. So you're working on something that for now seems small, but is not small at all, because you're only working on it at the beginning level and stage. In fact, you might have had to walk away from certain people just to start this. Know that whatever you're starting is going to reach full maturity and, end up being way bigger than it is right now. And this is one of those weeks where you really step into the awareness of how quickly this will manifest, as once you walk your dream and live your truth, nothing can truly get in your way or stop you. Indicated by the Three of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, you're starting this full moon in Cancer transit off with great abundance, celebration, and wealth that's coming in. And a lot of this is going to have to do with the direct manifestation of your intent. As we close this off with the Magician, I think you got the best cards out of everyone so far, as this is definitely speaking of really great victory that you change a lot of your life with, as you're manifesting 6 months worth of intent and a lot of, spirit work you've been doing. Regardless of that, though, we have slowed down. When you were excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. Okay. Then we have for Pisces, Pisces moon, Pisces rising. This full moon in Cancer for you is going to open up potent experiences. Yep. Is just confirmation. It's going to open up grand opportunities for you to connect romantically, as blocks that got in the way from other people of you opening up your heart and of you fully diving into your feelings will be neutrino blasted away, as you will achieve great victory when it comes to connecting with certain people. We have the card for Sag here too, but we have the Chariot as well too. So the underlying theme is you mastering certain blockages so that you can move forward into victory, okay? And allow yourself very powerfully to feel into your creative talent. We have the Page of Wands and the Strength. So this is you really receiving great news as you passionately connect very powerfully with someone. I feel like this could be a Sagittarius or a Leo. This is definitely a lot of fire, okay? And then we even have the Justice card, which is indicating not only great balance, but also much more important need for you to really make important decisions based off of where you're harnessing all of this passion. But I really see this more so as joining forces with and balancing very profoundly a lot that opens up with this greater shift of love opening up in your heart. And we have spiritual connection. This relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. So definitely, of course, as you gain greater emphasis, I even have get to know each other. 44. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. Pisces, y'all are the ascended masters. So you're connecting with your twin flames first. Like you're going to manifest the relationships with your twin flames first. Some of your twin flames are stuck with old soulmates. They don't even know. This is all going to really switch, all right, to where you develop these connections way much more potently and deeply. So before we go into the Q&A, let us now complete a mega level of this ritual. Remember, no matter how unrealistic much of what your visions and feelings tell you, you are manifesting them right now. So once again, really feel with every fiber of your being. And even after, your homework is after we release this energy to maintain that feeling, but really feel as if you have already manifested everything that you've ever wanted. This is what makes water signs so good at the law of attraction, because they can feel it and they can make themselves go delusional, and they're tuning their frequency to really attract a match, not the exact thing, but a match. So as you feel this energy once again well up, let's take some time to breathe this back into our system. Nice. So thank you, Cot News, for joining. All right. So before we combine the energy that we have so that we can link all our intentions and manifest them, we're going to do some clearing and I'll channel some messages. Okay. So I want you to sit and feel the energy of your aura. What color is enveloping your auric field? And what does it feel like? If you don't feel anything, that's totally fine too. That itself is a feeling. Okay. Before I go into the Q&A, by the way, and before we continue with this meditation, I have a special 10% discount code that will give you an additional 10% off any live reading or report that you order from me. The code is Moonchild. Oops. And I'm going to write this code right now in the description. Moonchild will give you, once again, oops. Okay. My electricity doesn't want to work now. Moonchild will gives you once again 10% off of any readings that you get on top of any other discount codes that have been provided. So the live chat won't let me type this in. I'm actually going to refresh and try again. But once again, Moonchild will get you 10%. There we go. All capitalized. And I've written the code down below, but I will also include the code right now in the description. The code Saturn, I believe, is still applicable. And the special 10% code will give you, once again, that amount. And this is, once again, exclusive to any of you who've joined this webinar. So I do ask for you all to keep this personal to you. It's a token of my gratitude for you, of course, joining. And yeah, really do encourage you to use that whenever you would like. Now, awesome quantum vibes. So, all right. The first channeled message I want to really have you do, first of all, as you feel into your aura and as you feel into this energy, I want you to look at this block. You see in your energy field, energy is flowing, but it's blocked in some space near your heart, and it's making the energy go erratically. And you see there is a plug that you need to yank out so that the energy can flow again. And this plug represents a feeling of unworthiness. As as you touch and yank on this plug that is blocking the flow of energy in your heart, you instantly feel a powerful feeling of unworthiness within you. And I want you to feel that feeling of unworthiness. I want you to feel every single experience in your life that you felt rejected from experiencing love or feeling that you can connect and have the love that makes you feel confident in your life. Take some time to feel that. Now yank that plug away. And when you yank it away, I want you to feel that feeling of unworthiness completely pop out and anchor to that plug, and then throw that plug away out of your aura field. And feel gradually your aura field resonating more with your energy signature now that you have a signature to base on. Some of you may feel your energy flowing faster because blocks like this slow down energy and vibrate it at a lower level. So it slows down at the dense pace. I now want you to focus in on this feeling of guilt near your sacral chakra. For many of you watching this, the most important channeled message that I have is shame and guilt that have been subconsciously projected. The one thing that's getting in the way of you fully harnessing and feeling this sexual energy is indirect rejection that you have placed towards your sexual self, that has been programmed due to the institution of religion and as a little child, where you were encouraged and simultaneously rejected from expressing your sexuality. Both influences to hypersexualize images or to shame you for expressing your sexuality has now made this intersexual part of you repressed. So as you feel into your aura, I want you to feel this energy come through your arms. So now I want you to see, as you're in your soul, I want you to see this sexual energy personified. And I want you to see that it's chained down by judgments and by expectations and by shame and guilt. And it's covered in the dark goo of this. I want you to look it in its eyes and to see your own repressed sexuality. What form is it taking? As you take this energy around you, envelop it and hug it and pour your love over it. And now start to feel this repressed energy start to cry in your arms as it represents a deep part of you that wants expression and not suppression. As you give this your love, feel yourself melting in your own arms as you feel pain release for being rejected, as you feel all those times you wanted healthy sexual reciprocation and it was met with trauma, it was met with distrust, it was met with abuse. Feel your own aura healing this deeply sexual part of yourself as you give it the love that it has not received up until this point. Some of you may start to really get triggered and feel a lot of pain. This is a great sign. If you find yourself crying, take as much time as you need to really envelop this energy. As you give this energy of your aura, see it now taking the energy of your aura and becoming less dark, and see the shackles release from it as it goes from sad to now nourished and filled with your own love and energy. This is a very subtle effect that you'll start to feel over the next 2 weeks. And if some of you need to go back and do this recurringly because the sexual trauma is too much, you totally can. Okay. Take your time with this, especially if you find there's deep pain associated with this. Fill your sexual energy with so much love that instead of it looking chained, it's vibrant and confident, and you feel that extension of yourself now adding power to you. And now finally, as you keep maintaining focus on your own aura's feeling, which if you feel a little bit warmer is a great sign. I want you to now take your own energy in your hands, put it on your heart, and feel all the energy of your aura washing your soul from top to bottom. And any such energies within you that you feel, flush away. Any such excess energies and vibrations that you sense and feel will represent other energies and vibrations that have been attached to you, whether you've known or not. and any such feelings that do not necessarily vibrate with your, authenticity. You want this to just wash away. Charge this with the intent to clear away any such chords or vibrations that don't vibe with you. So this is to clear yourself and clear your vessel. Imagine you see these chords just get washed away and feel yourself being clear with your own energy. One thing you'll notice is that these small vibrations can get in the way, because when you think of things, these vibrations will come in the form of thoughts and other people's voices, where you're not always just hearing their voices. They're just energy within your own soul that's reacting. So let's clear this away. This is going to cut and clear cords again and really rebalance your emotional energy. You could tell we're getting deep. This is more deep meditation work than normal because of this Cancer energy. Feel the energy drain down through your feet and into the earth. And now, if you need to replenish, have the white light come and fill your energy up so your aura could be charged again. A lot of this, as you do this, may feel like you're riding a bike for the first time, or you're just doing the motions. That is totally fine. The more you spend time in meditation and flex the muscle, you'll gain sensitivity and you'll feel your aura much better. Okay. This is also going to attract stimuli to force and jaw open these nodes so that you can experience them more as well. Think of this as a prelude to a spirit baptism you'll gain from your own higher self, whether physically, through dreams, or both. And as a confirmation, I got the strength card, which is really feeling into the infinite potential of your energy. Finally, let us now close this out by holding hands virtually and feeling our energies connect. Now that we've cleared our energies and we've healed our repressed sexual energies, as well as clearing any cords. As we feel our energies connect, you may feel a cool hue. I want you to now take the intention that you have seen. First of all, I want you to see us in your mind's eye, all as energy wisps in a room. It doesn't matter if the room looks the same to everyone, just kind of get a sense of all of our energy shared. And now I want you to envision in your mind's eye you projecting forth your intent and what you want to manifest. How do you feel if everything in your life has manifested? I want you to feel yourself projecting it forth in an orb and then I want you to also see everyone else projecting forth their intent. And as you do it, start to feel happiness. And I want you to envision all of us celebrating together our success. Take this time as well to set the intention for everyone else in the live chat to manifest their intent, as I will do so right now. You can join as well. I manifest the intent for everyone in the live chat to manifest the full power of our intent and also have it align with the highest good of all. Allow the North Node and Leo to direct our intent to one that authentically expresses our heart's golden essence as we vibrate into much greater love and piss off these haters who just feed off negativity. So I know you can feel this right now. I can already feel my energy rising just because I'm connecting with you guys. You guys are so awesome. Okay, if you sense my energy shifted, it's because I've linked in with y'all. So now feel this moving in, and now after you've projected it, I want you to see this orb, and now see this orb rise up to the heavens and release the energy. Know that what you've now released, you're now in position to manifest. And now it's released. So all you want to do for now to supplement this is just feel your aura and maintain that auric vibe. This will be your shield so that nothing gets in. And if anything gets in, just examine how you feel before you act and move forward. Thank you once again for joining this webinar. This is one of the better webinars. I really think you'll gain a lot from feeling into the cumulative effect of how this has changed. And yeah, you stay blessed once again. Over the next 12 to 24 hours, you're going to experience shifts because we've connected our energy. And now open for questions and answers. Please keep in mind, let's keep the questions and answers specific to this full moon. And one last thing I want to say is, now that we've cleared this energy, trust 100% in your intuition. The quality of your intuition and the quality of the synchronicities are going to be a lot more powerful. It's okay if they don't make sense. Trust in them, okay? And congrats. Lilac Ocean, the message I want to channel for you is an echo of what I just said. Spirit is going to be beaming to you sacred revelations, and don't worry about confirmation. Just believe what's revealed. Look at it as if you're seeing the future and you're going to walk into it. It's like you're being tuned into insider information. All right. Another thing that I want to channel for y'all is, because you're sensitive to vibrations, ignore any voices, ignore any thoughts that directly antagonize your desires or intents. Ignore them and speak back against them in a calm or peaceful way. But once again, really, you know what I'm saying? Hold that space in your heart and don't pay it no mind. It's just meant to trigger your feelings, okay? Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us. Really grateful for the comment. Thank you, Rainbow. Thank you, Cat News. Thank you, EM949. Thank you, Margaret. All right, Miss Kiki. I have okay, channeling freestyle. I got the good vibes. The message I have for you, Miss Kiki, is to live a good life. Make sure we shine bright. I saw a white orb as I was spitting this to you. So this lets me know that spirit's flowing through you. And it's also good to take into account because you're going to manifest large amounts, and the evolution of your auric field will teach everyone around us and through you how to feel. That one came out pretty nice. Thank you, Miss Kiki. All right. What will this full moon mean if you have natal Mars and Cancer in the second house? This full moon is going to trigger a lot of suppressed rage and anger. So you start to act off anything in a reaction towards stimuli that disrespects your authority. And it's, if you find yourself sensitively triggered, trust that feeling, because you'll be picking up on power play dynamics of people thinking they're slick and you're not just being paranoid, okay? But it's also going to open up greater manifestation for you too. I'm in an isolation period, Jupiter in the 12th. So how will this full moon going over my retrograde Jupiter in Cancer in the 7th house? This is going to supplement your isolation period by bringing one or two people, Kristen, into your isolated space so that they can see the spiritual growth that you've had. Because in your place of isolation, you need context. You need certain people to understand what you're going through. And this full moon will help certain people do that as well. Quantum vibes, we definitely have your back. And I'm so grateful that you have our back as well. All right. Bell, the message I have to channel for you is your intuition is much more advanced than your body. And your body is still very wise too. So you want to be in a position to trust fully what your intuition picks up for you, as you have to come up with abstract ways of interpreting it. It's like your intuition is an alien and your body is like from the ancient past. So they don't know how to speak to each other. But you as the middleman, the middle woman, will come to a way to translate for both. And it's going to open up how you finally understand this. And it's taken a while to get there. So just keep on the right path. You're totally doing a great job. More than it seems, let's say. Okay. What guidance do you have about using spiritual protection for those of us that are really emotionally sensitive? Great question, Jonathan. So, lighting sage, lighting any sorts of herbs, spending time in meditation. Once again, for those of you who are really emotionally sensitive, you want to spend times creating shields, feel your aura, and then feel yourself gathering and pulling in energy until you feel enough around. Because you're really emotionally sensitive, you'll feel the vibrations and then feel the aura hardening. This will provide a initial sense to where you can walk in public and people's vibes will affect you. And then on top of that, because it won't be enough, anything you receive and before reacting to, just transmute the energy and then react to it. So that's the initial sense of protection while keeping your mind on a positive space, because this still is warfare, so it's not going to be the easiest, but this is a great beginning. Okay, Rainbow, the message that I have for you is to step into the cycle of abundance through gratitude, because you did so much magic work and manifestation and spells, and it's like it delayed because Saturn was in Sag. So the 6 months worth of manifestation you did is just going to hit at once. So just keep that in mind. If you've been waiting for some things to release, it's coming in, and it's been coming in, but it's just been coming in like, but now it's gonna, because Saturn's now in Capricorn. All right, Mike, can you channel? Thank you, L Rising. Can you channel a message for me regarding dream work around this full moon? Positively, Trisha. Be very mindful of the dreams you're having and the dream work you do, because I think you doubted yourself on this, but you're special in that you're so powerful psychically. The dream work you do directly influences your real life. This happens to everyone, but not everyone's aware of this. And you're going to become much more directly aware of this, which is why, even more so for you, if you find yourself tired at random parts of the day, it's your spirit like, we need to go to the dream world and fix certain things so that you can directly handle blockages in this real world. This is just for masters. Not everyone can handle this level of power. So that's really, this full moon will set this off. L Rising, a message to channel for you is to go deeper into your feelings. You're kind of holding yourself back from feeling certain depth because it's too deep and you don't know if you need to make the plunge. Plus, you made the plunge before and it didn't necessarily have the best consequences. You want to now take that full plunge anyway, because you're so much more experienced and much more smarter now too. So totally trust yourself, even though it will still feel really interesting, let's say, to say the least. I am a businesswoman who wants to have more love and connect with my soulmate. Do you see him near? Yes. And the soulmate you're going to meet the soulmate because of your business. I don't even think they'll be like a client or anything, but it's definitely going to be someone who you probably meet through a connect. And a lot of this will do with you vibrating a whole lot of your intent solely focused on the twin flame connection or the soulmate connection you're wanting to. This will guide his energy to you subconsciously. And this is going to spark off through a recognition of your psychic energy, where the reason why you'll both know your soulmates is because you confirm stuff that you both had the same synchronicities about. So this will come by you just focusing your intent and feeding your heart this energy to provide this vibrational match. It's happening very soon because of this Venus transit, by the way. Margaret, the channel that I have for you is really speaking of expressing forth your intent as powerfully as you're doing, but be mindful. The message that I have for you really is like, you've been like hitting the same brick wall for a long time and you never gave up, where a lot of people were saying, give up, and you were hitting it for a long time. Okay. And now you've developed the quality of power to where you didn't really give up, because you went through a period where you actually broke past the wall, but you realized, oh, there really is nothing past this wall. But now you're dealing with challenges over the next 6 months that are very similar to this brick wall experience, but you're so powerful now that you just hit the wall and it just crushes down. And you're just going to find yourself exponentially passing through challenges. But at first, it's going to seem like, oh, the same challenge again. Don't be put off by that, because you're going to be so much more powerful through it. Okay. And Black Love, this full moon is going to last for 2 weeks up until this new moon. Mindful Robot. The Sun and Venus are conjuncting my North Node Uranus for this full moon. Any message to channel from that? Yes. Be very mindful over the next week how people change their vibe towards you, because you may be less aware of where your life is headed, and certain people you engage with will be seeing your steps moving forward. So be very mindful to people's motives, and be very mindful to how people change their feelings towards you, because there's a very subtle shifting that's having you be aware of multiple timelines. And over this week, you're going to have to choose who and what timeline you all want to converge based on an action you take that will converge the timelines. I hope that makes sense. Uranus kind of makes this really quantum. All right. Victoria, how does this full moon affect my Cancer ascendant and its opposite Cap 7th house? This full moon is going to reveal secrets about your identity that you're going to choose who knows. This is what will transform the dynamic between your connections with others, because you'll discover secret feelings that will now make more sense as to why you unconsciously react towards certain people in certain ways. Now this won't be a secret anymore, and not everyone will know. So you'll choose who you tell this to about yourself. Okay. Julie, the message for you is speaking of you stepping in. If you're in a relationship, your soulmate is going to awaken, and they're going to trigger deeper awareness through whatever epiphany they have. And they tell you, if you're single, your soulmate is awakening. And now this is why the blockages will release, and they're going to find you very quickly, because they're more psychic. But while they were asleep, it was hard for them to sense the energy. So it's going to be, you'll feel when they awaken too, because it's going to trigger in you. And this full moon is triggering this too. So congratulations. Okay. Will I increase my superpower significantly? That is a very important question, and I don't necessarily want you to think that you're just asking that as if wishful thinking. Your superpowers are increasing significantly since the new moon in Scorpio that was on your moon, but it's going to take until Pisces season for it to fully increase. So this full moon in Cancer is where you're going to start being aware of how significant your superpowers are increasing, because now it's to a point where you feel it, but there's still incongruencies about how you time what you do versus it happening. And this is all going to be cleared out by March. So the answer is yes. It's been doing it since November, but you're going to start with this full moon feeling it a lot more and being aware of what's already happened. Because with mutable signs, the thing with us is just being aware of the magic that we're already doing, because there's so much happening at once. So it can be hard to be aware of it. Great question, though, as this is something that's happening for everyone, too. But you'll find for you at a much deeper level. Okay. I started seeing my aura as the color of honey, like a protective layer. Great sign, especially if it's a little faint. Your third eye is definitely very powerful. So definitely great. My mind has been securing the bag lately, which is needed. Amen. My mind has been on securing the bag lately, which is needed. Amen. However, it feels off to pray and meditate. What can I do further to connect to spirit? Calypso, great question. You need to remember that you're constantly connected to spirit, and your phone line is just at a mental level. So you can just talk to yourself and have thoughts, and spirit is talking back. If you find it's hard to pray and meditate, it's because there are dark forces that are trying to interfere with your connection. So light some sage and do what you can to clear the space. But if you still find issues, it's just because it's just not the right time. And you want to know that your connection to spirit is more intuitive. So as you're thinking or asking a question, it's because you're already having that internal dialogue, and you're having like communication with spirit at the speed of light. So you just may be picking up on bits and pieces. Great question. All right. Amelia, the message that I have for you to channel, all right, is really speaking of you stepping into a much more powerful level of how you step into your faith in yourself. As for you, a lot of your power is already on, but no one ever taught you how to ride that car. Your power is like a car. No one ever taught you how to ride the car. No one ever really taught you how to tell when it's on. And this is a symptom because you're just way too powerful. And it kind of works against you because you don't know how to feel vibrations as powerful as you. So over this week, a traumatic event is going to happen that will just kind of, you know how you have to go through something epic to like instinctually force you to remember how to use your own powers. So I hate to say that because it makes it sound like you don't know yourself. That's not true. It's just a special part that no one can teach you how, because no one's at that level you are at. So don't worry, it's going to happen this week, and it's going to set you on a whole new adventure. All right. GF Zymes, the message that I have for you in your Cancer is to practice a lot more how you're aware of your psychic energy, because both of your shadow sides are working to distract you from each other. And both of your shadow sides are trying to get you to argue with each other so that you face directly what your shadows are trying to show you. And any such passive aggressiveness on both of your parts will just add to more of the tension. So do what you can to be even more open about any emotions that are hard to express to each other. Thank you, Positively, Trisha. Keone, thank you very much for tuning in. The message that I have for you is whenever you feel rage against someone, let it out and don't hold it in. Try and find healthy ways to let it out. You don't have to shout at the person, but if you feel that rage, you have to express it and be like, hey, I'm feeling this towards you. I don't know why. Or, hey, I don't like the way you did this. So don't suppress it. Express it directly towards them, because you may be picking up on something psychically they're hiding, and this is going to open up a lot why you're even feeling this. Stephanie, the message that I have for you is definitely speaking of you having to really step more into greater confidence in yourself. And this is going to happen indirectly because you're already very confident, but you want to really apply this confidence in opportunities that will have you do more than you can. And that's the message I have for you, Stephanie. It's like certain people, you've seen certain people who are less powerful than you kind of get away with more. And the universe is saying you can do more with your power. You're not unconfident, you're just very modest and you're very humble. So you want to really take more action, but more in the way where like put in mind you're powerful enough to skip a whole line if you wanted. If you went to a function, you can go to the front of the line and be like, yeah, I don't want to wait. You know, you don't have to do it like that, but that's just an example. Like you want to, when you feel called to do something like that, you totally can. And it's not getting away with it. It's just exercising your auric dominance. All right. The healing rose. This full moon will affect your Venus in Cancer and the third house by really developing the skills that you utilize to empathize with people and to speak to people at a soul level. Borrowing on this, you'll find that your telepathy through empathy evolves, and the beliefs you have around such change, so that ways you blocked yourself into connecting more, you don't, because you see it in a whole new way or a different way. Okay. Black Love, the message that I have for you is that you're evolving at a rate too quick for your own mind and body to understand. So, a relationship is manifesting right now with somebody else who can reflect back the pace of what you're evolving. Look to another Gemini, Sagittarius, or fire sign, or any sign to really mirror this, but they're going to have a lot of fire and air so that you have to see a lot of what's occurring for you in order to make sense of it. So if you've been feeling like you need a relationship, it's because one is manifesting, but it's so powerful, it's been taking a while. So congrats. Continue what you're doing. It's working and you're connecting with this person too. April Williams, this is the same message for you as well. You're connecting to not just a romantic soulmate, but a lot of friends in your life. You're watering with your thoughts and you're psychically connecting to them. So trust yourself because this is a bit of a new process for you too. And you can look to these relationships to help mirror your evolution more on a mental level. All right, to where people will be confirming a lot of the thoughts you've been having. And this is more your thoughts that have infiltrated their minds and are now speaking back to you, just to show you once again the evolution of your power. Jennifer, this full moon will affect you in a way that will open up a deeper respect for your own intuition. This is a full moon that's going to like show you certain things that you doubted. And it's just going to be like, oh, you were right. Oh, you were right. Especially with the Pluto trine moon, it's like you feel things at a deeper level. And it's going to be like, oh, you were right. And this is going to really just have you respect yourself like never before. And you only doubted yourself because people made you feel you were wrong. And this is going to prove you right about certain deeply core emotional feelings and about what other people felt. Sweet. Okay. Are there any blinders connected to the releasing of memories and cords this Cancer moon? No, there are no blinders. Okay. They seem to be 12th house mother moon issues. And let me just rephrase that. There will be blinders that surface, but they no longer apply. So it's just releasing outdated blinders. Okay. Feel it and release it because it's just like obsolete right now. And that's what you're really going to come into profound clarity of. All right. And Nancy, the message that I have for you is to embrace a lot more what you have already done. You want to go back actually and assess everything you've manifested for yourself and ask yourself, what can I do to repurpose this? What can I do to recapitalize on? Because you have a lot of hidden gems that are now finally ready to use, where people may not have understood it at first, or it was just too ahead of its time, or it just wasn't the right time. Go back and you'll be so surprised at how you can because I get the sense, Nancy, that you feel like you're pressed for time because you need to produce or create new material. And it's like you have so much old material that you can now repackage as new to where it'll set you up for a good few months. All right. Sandy, the message that I have for you is to embrace more your healing power. This full moon is going to double and triple over the next 3 weeks your healing ability so that people are going to be just coming near you. They wouldn't even talk to you. They'll just stand near you because you're subconsciously they're coming to your aura for healing. Now you're special because your North Node is involved. The dragon's head protects you from vampires. So you don't have to worry about people draining your energy. If your energy is drained, it just has to do with how much you're giving and focusing this intent. So the message for you is don't be worried if you find that you're taking in too much energy. You can drain a large amount of quantity, more than even other cancers. Okay. Taylor, the message that I have for your Cancer moon is to trust fully your irrational feelings. You're going to have irrational feelings about people that make no logical sense. And it's not about the logic, it's just about the feeling. Whatever comes up to the feeling, trust how you wrap logic around it, but don't attach too much to the logic. just pay attention to the feeling, because the feeling will come up to the surface and make sense. But it's just so that you pay attention to what feelings are really, once again, pointing you towards. Since you're very intuitive, you'll be able to handle this more loose, non-linear sense to what's occurring. Also, know that what you feel about people's internal sense is true. Okay. Dark versus light. What does the universe want me to know that will serve me at this time? It's to stop holding back. You're holding back against people and energies because you're afraid that your power is too much to handle. And this is affecting your relationships with others because you're still healing certain parts of yourself and you're very energetic. So you've seen the bad effects of people getting overwhelmed by your energy. Don't hold back anymore, even if it overwhelms them. By you not holding back, you'll release enough energy so you learn how to control it. At first, it'll seem intense, but then you'll be able to level it up. But if you hold it back, you won't know how to do that first. And I'll take that advice too, because I kind of go through that as well. Neptunian Troll Society. You're right. This is very intense and it's very transformative. And this is going to indicate how this transformation mirrors in other people important to you. So the deep internal work you've been doing in yourself has simultaneously happened in key soulmates. And the reason why you need to open up about this private stuff is they're going to look at you and be like, oh, that's what I worked on for me. Soulmate connection. So that you'll feel guided to speak on it too. And this is meant to establish a connect, and all the connects are going to happen through you. All right. Katie, the message that I have for you is there's going to be bolts of clarity that literally raise your confidence, and you're going to feel more passionate than ever. I'm telling you this because over the next week, it may feel like, am I going to lose this? Am I going to have this forever? It is. It's the beginning of a 6-year transit of integrating a lot more energy into your body. And I agree. Neptunian Troll Society is one of the best names ever. It's awesome. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me in this webinar. You're going to really transition and feel divine vibrations that shift a lot positively. And you have yourselves to thank because we all came together to do this. Thank you so much for placing intentions to manifest all of our intentions. So I'm glad that we can meet like this every new and full moon. And stay tuned for next time. You guys are so amazing. Really do mean that. I hope these cookies invited a fragrant essence and aura your way. And I really am excited to how you're going to evolve your own spirit and soul. Peace.